The MLB Gambling Podcast on the Sports Gam Podcast Network is brought to you by Onyx Fantasy. Sign up with the promo code MLBSPN, get a $1,000 bonus credit. And welcome, everybody, to the MLB Gambling Podcast here on the Sports Gam Podcast Network. It is currently Sunday evening around 5 p.m. Eastern Time on April 27th. First episode, Scott Reichel, joined again by Dylan Rockford. Together, we'll break down the games for the Monday card. Apologies in advance, by the way. We are missing about half of the lines for the Monday card. 3 games currently without lines out of the 8, so we're going to break down all 8 anyway. We might speculate some line stuff, but for the sake of the, once again, previews, we are a bit shorthanded for a couple of these games. But either way, Dylan, how's it going with you? Pretty busy day for us New Yorkers. The Knicks had a crazy game. The Yankees had an interesting game too, and the Mets did as well. So I'll ask you, how's your day going so far?
Up and down, I'll say that. Like you said, up and down. I mean, it started good. I turned the Mets game off. That first inning, I was like, oh, we should cruise for the victory. Turn it off. Watch the Knicks game. They won. Debatable if it's a foul or not. But and then I come back. I put the Met game on for shits and giggles because my friend said, "Oh my God!" He texted me, and I go, "Oh, we blew it." And then that's 2 times this weekend the Mets blew the game against the Nationals. So it's a tough one, but up and down. How about you?
Yeah, overall, can't complain. I feel like it was a pretty entertaining day of sports in general. You had, of course, the crazy Knicks game. Nice comeback by them. Controversial ending, but I'll save that for the NBA Gambling Pod. MLB, though, can't complain. Yankees won a game in the Toronto series. Devin Williams got demoted because he can't pitch. So we'll see how the Yankees do later on today as well. They won the first game 11-2. I don't know if you saw the video of Gaussman. Did you see the video of Gaussman?
No, what happened?
So Gaussman ended up getting ejected for arguing calls. And then he was yelling at the umpire while he was in the dugout. He continued to yell at him, and he fell down the stairs. So
you can't make that shit up.
Falling down the stairs while he was yelling at the umpire. So that was something that happened as well.
What was your immediate reaction to that?
I mean, he was out of the game already. I appreciated the win because Gaussman fell apart early in that game. So I don't think I've seen that before, though.
No,
he got ejected and then continued to argue, then injured himself, or at least, had an embarrassing moment caught on camera of him falling down the stairs. So I thought that was kind of entertaining. But either way, Yankees had a nice win. We'll see how they do in the doubleheader later today. Mets, as you said before, had a pretty large lead. They blew it. And then they ended up losing the game 8-7. Besides that, Skubal was shoving. I think he struck out 11 guys today. Baltimore's been awful. They got swept, right, in the series?
Yeah, they did. They're so bad.
They're terrible. The Twins had a nice win against the Angels, 5-0. Red Sox won 13-3. Hunter Brown continues to absolutely shove. Give up 1 run again today as the Astros won 7-3. Milwaukee avoided the sweep, beating the Cardinals, and that's all we got for the games today. But I know we're going to move into the games in a second for Monday. Anything else you want to add from the card today, this weekend? Anything you want to talk about?
No, I think you pretty much touched it. I was going to mention Hunter Brown, but he was crazy. Did you see who was the guy from the Diamondbacks? 4 home runs at 4 at bats,
and they lost. Shout out to Suarez.
Wow, that has to be a record, right?
It's the 3rd time ever somebody's hit 4 home runs in a game and lost.
You can't make that shit up. That's incredible.
Yeah,
that's crazy.
That's the 3rd time ever. I think for 4 home run games, I don't remember how many, but it's more than you might think. Yeah. It's not a lot, but the point is that there's only been 3 instances now where somebody hits 4 home runs in a game and the team loses. So that did happen yesterday. Nice job by Suarez. But
I want to ask you real quick before we get into these games. I know we have a short slate. Do you bet futures in season, or you do it mostly before the season starts?
Usually it's a blend. For example, Adam and I had a whole Zoom where we talked about futures and we went through some MVP stuff for the MLB show right before the season started. Usually we'll fire on those preseason, but if we see a guy maybe get an extra opportunity or we like how they're performing, you can definitely jump in. For example, I know that Adam and I were interested in Max Meyer for the Cy Young. Not going too well today, but we saw him first couple outings and thought, what is this, 100-1? Like, all right, we'll throw something on it. But then preseason, we had Corbin Carroll at like 45-1 to an MVP. And he's been a monster. So once again, it kind of is a blend. If you want to back a team, are you talking about player futures, team futures, or just anything?
I was talking about in general because I was looking this weekend and Honestly, Andres Muniz, I took a flyer at plus 550 to get AL reliever of the year. I don't know if you like that market, but they're going to be in a lot of close games. Obviously, you know their offense is no juggernaut to say the least, and he's on pace for 58 saves. Even if he doesn't get that much, but like 45 to 50. The Mariners are going to be in the postseason as well. I think he's going to get plenty of opportunities to get a lot of saves. So I jumped on that, and I was just wondering if you take futures in season.
Yeah, I'm not against taking futures in season. If you find an angle, for example, AL reliever of the year, I'm sure everyone thought Clase was going to win it. And now he got demoted because he's been terrible. So you might be looking at Clase now being a 7th or 8th inning guy. But the point is, with Clase now being a shell of himself, shout out to Pete Alonso, suddenly the market opens up a little bit more because you have more options. No, sorry, that was Devin Williams that's another example. People thought Devin Williams or Clase was probably going to win the award, and they've both been terrible because Stanton and the Yankees killed Clase in the playoffs last year. Devin Williams got killed by Alonso. They're both horrible. They both got demoted, and now you have a massive opening in that market. So I'll ask you for Munoz, what price did you see for him for AL reliever of the year?
I got him 2 days ago at plus 550. Do you see a price right now with him?
I don't have it up, so I'll have to check after, but I was curious. Was he favored in that market?
No, he was the second favorite behind the A's. I think Mason.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
That makes sense because Miller's been very good. Okay. That's fair.
But yeah, I thought there was a little angle, so I just wanted to get, because I know you do futures, so I just wanted to get your opinion on that real quick.
No, but once again, it's another thing where circumstances change. If you think that there's an opening in a certain, for example, award market, NBA will jump in season all the time. If there's some type of like coach of the year lag or any of these type of markets that are slow to adjust, which happens more often than you think, you can't find some value. I mean, you mentioned Munoz, who might be on pace for like 50-something saves. You're mentioning Miller, who's favored for a reason, but the A's are also not very good. Yeah. If we're talking about save opportunities, if Munoz finishes with more saves than Miller and Seattle maybe makes a wild card spot and the A's don't, you might get a tie break because the team that he's saving for is actually more relevant.
Yeah, that's literally the angle that I chose.
Yeah, so I understand where you're coming from. I mean, once again, saves are the most important metric when it comes to reliever of the year. So I'm not against it, but that's an example of a future you can jump into mid-season if you find an opening. Because preseason, everyone thought, Clase, it's going to be Devin Williams. And now suddenly they're both basically useless, and you have a wide open market to choose from.
Yeah, that's a good point.
So there we go. But anyway, point is for the actual card, before we get into the games for the Monday slate, a reminder that you can help the actual content on SGPN and help the network grow by leaving us a 5-star rating and review on Spotify or Apple. Also, don't forget to subscribe to the multiple channels for the SGPN shows, whether it involves the MLB show, the NBA show, tennis show, college experience. You get the drill. Point is, you can help the show grow by leaving some ratings and reviews on Spotify or Apple. And don't forget to subscribe and leave some likes and comments to help the algorithm and to help the shows grow on YouTube. Anyway, moving on to the games here on Monday. Starting off with the Mets, who are still playing the Nationals somehow for about the 15th game in a row, it feels like. But you have a matchup where the Mets are favored minus 165. The Nationals are plus 140. For the over-under in this game, I see the line at 9.5 or 9. I see Canning against Williams. So Canning's been solid this season, 3-1, 3.12 ERA. Williams, though, former Met, correct?
Yes.
Yeah, so point is, I don't think Mets fans think that highly of him, but he's okay. 1-2, 5.11 ERA, not the best of years, but we know that he's not exactly a guy with great stuff, but he's a grinder. He'll find ways to get through innings. He'll find ways to manufacture weak contact, but overall this season, not that great. Mets, though, minus 165, fresh off the painful loss on Sunday. They're clearly the better team, but you saw Abrams come back for Washington. Him and Wood are still very dangerous. Cruz has been incredible for the Nationals over the last week or two. I'll ask you, I know the Mets probably should win this game, but minus 165 is pretty large. Do you want to go for the Nationals, the over-under, or you want to go for the Mets on a run line?
Yeah, I agree. The Mets should be the favorite. My numbers came out to minus 155, so a little too big of a favorite here. Griffin Canning's been a much different pitcher on the road than he is at home for the Mets. Not terrible, but he has given up 2+ runs in both starts on the road, a home run in each game as well. Strikeouts are way down on the road as well. I think the Nationals are going to be able to score some runs here against Canning. Nationals, they're hitting 262. They've been gritty in this series against the Mets as well. They've come back in twice. They're averaging around 4.5 runs per game at home. Meanwhile, the Mets, they are the better team. 7-3 in their last 10. They are 16-5 straight up as a favorite. So should they win this game? Yes, but I do think we'll see some runs. I took the over. My total came out to 9.8. Trevor Williams, he's looked a little better in his last 2 starts, but they were against the Pirates and Orioles, who we mentioned at the top of the show. They're 2 bad teams, the Orioles. So before that, he did give up 3+ runs in the first 3 of his starts. He gives up the long ball as well. Mets averaging around 4 runs per game on the road this season. So Mets should win this game. I'm going to stay away. It's a little chalky for me, but I do like the over.
Yeah, so Williams' last 2 starts, by the way, 5 innings, 1 run in each of them. But he does give up a decent amount of contact, give up 6 hits against the Orioles in his last start. I think Canning should go fine. I like Canning. I think he's been good this season. Tells you how much a change in scenery can matter, because he was terrible on the Angels, but he's actually been good with the Mets. I don't maybe mind the Mets' first 5 minus half a run here. I think that Williams will give up some contact. I think Canning should go fine. I think the Mets get off to a lead. Will they blow the game? Remains to be seen, but I do think they can get some damage done against Williams. Good enough for me. I'll go with the Mets in the first 5 minus half a run for that one. Moving on to the next game, you have the Twins taking on the Guardians. Now, for this game, you have Ober against Williams. Cleveland's minus 115. The Twins are minus 105. Minnesota was looking better over the last couple of days. They were able to beat the Angels 5-0. Guardians, not the best weekend series against the Red Sox, as they ended up losing 2 out of 3. They lost the last 2. So we'll see if they can get back on track here. Williams, though, has been fine and better lately. 2-1, 4.15 ERA. Over 2-1, 5.04 ERA. But Ober has been pretty solid lately. He has allowed less than 4 runs in 4 straight, allowed less than 2 runs in 3 of the last 4. So it seems like Ober, once again, has kind of figured it out. Same thing with Williams here. I think I like the under in this game. The total for this one set at 8 flat. I see a 7.5 heavily juiced to the over, but I do see an 8 flat on FanDuel. I'll go with the under in this game. Yes, I know that the Guardians have had a couple of games where they've exploded. Most part, around 3 or 4 runs. Minnesota, kind of the same boat. But Gamble Williams has been pretty good, and Ober's been solid for the last couple of weeks. I think this total feels a bit high to me. I'll go with the under.
Yeah, I'm going to be on the I said it a few episodes ago over on this show, and Twins are still on my do not bet list, so I can't back them. Made the Guardians a minus 135 favorite. There's no way I could back Bailey Ober here on the road. 9.35 ERA, 9 runs given up in 8 innings, and batters are hitting 333 off of him this season on the road. Twins have been winning, but they're playing cans. They're playing the Angels. They're playing the White Sox. So they're not good. I still don't trust them. And now going on the road, I don't like their chances. 3-10 straight up on the road. While the Guardians are a bet on team, you mentioned they have exploded offensively from time to time. Plus, Gavin Williams has been great at home. 2-0 with a 2.38 ERA, just 3 runs given up, 11 innings, 15 strikeouts as well. Better pitcher, better bullpen. I agree on the under. I made my total 7.8. So I do like the under if you could get an 8, but Guardians at minus 122 is going to be the play for me.
Yeah, I think I agree with you about the Guardians. I just also like the under in that game. Moving on to the Yankees and the Orioles. Yankees have a doubleheader, finish the first game. We'll see how they do in the second game starting in about 10-15 minutes. But the point is the Yankees bullpen might be very shorthanded for the game on Monday. You have Warren pitching against Sagano. We have no lines listed. Yankees, I'm assuming, will be favored because of 1, Yankees tax. 2, have you seen Baltimore play? So I'm assuming that the Yankees will be favored in this game. Sagano, though, has been, on the bright side, arguably the best starting pitcher on Baltimore. The problem is Sagano's been arguably the best pitcher in your rotation, which tells you how bad this team actually is. But I'll ask you, because we don't have any lines, Yankees probably, I'd say, north of 125, 130 in this game.
The lines just came out.
Oh, they did? Okay, cool.
Minus 118 for the Yankees, plus 102 for the Orioles. 9.5 is the total.
Okay, so perfect timing. So with that being said, Yankees said minus 118. You said over-unders at about 9.5.
Yep.
I'll ask you on this one because Baltimore's bad at everything right now. They're going to be thrilled seeing Warren instead of Skubal, though. I'll tell you that much. Yeah. But for the Yankees, they have not been playing that well lately. They should have probably won the series against Toronto, but we saw Williams blow the 9th inning about a day or 2 ago. Weaver's now the closer. They officially made the switch. Thank God. I'll ask you, though, for this matchup. I think it's the Yankees by default at this price, but I know Warren's not very good.
Yeah, by this price, I mean, you got to take the Yankees here. I actually like the over as well, I would say. Orioles are another team that's kind of on my do not bet list right now. And to be honest, like you said, Yankees aren't playing the best either. And Will Warren on the mound, he's not the best. 5.91 ERA, 7 runs given up in 10 innings. Batters hitting 300, over 300 off of him as well. So I think this could be a good spot for runs for both teams. Orioles are averaging 5 runs per game at home this season. So I'll take the over. Like I said, my total came out to 9.6 if it is these two pitchers with Sagano and Warren. Even with Sagano going for the Orioles, the Yankees should be able to muster up a few runs against him as well. He's given up 2+ runs in both starts at home. He gives up the long ball as well, which you do not want to do against the Yankees, who are second in the league in home runs. Plus, with the wind, it's going to be around 7-8 miles an hour blowing out into center field at Camden Yards as well. So, yeah, I like the over, and at -118, you got to take the Yankees here, I feel like.
Yeah, I just think it's too cheap. I mean, Baltimore, unless they were against like the White Sox or the Rockies or these really, really bad teams, who do you trust this team against? They're bad at basically everything. They can't pitch. The hitting's been kind of quiet compared to what we expected. They've been a mess. And the Yankees, yes, I know they've not been as good as maybe we were hoping they would be at this point. They're still in first place. Like, I feel like they're still a better team than people might give them credit for. And the bullpen's been kind of a mess with Devin Williams in a couple of games. But I do think the Yankees should be a bigger favorite. So I'll go with them -118. Agree with you about the over, though, for this game. Before we get into the other games on the card for Monday, reminder they're brought to you by Edgewood because they have the first ever bank account for bettors. You can also use them for all of your gambling transactions. No usage fees and open balance. You can also get cash rewards. And a reminder, 100% approval rating for all of the betting deposits. You can also sign up today. Edgewood.bet. Promo code SGPN. So, deposit $25, get a match deposit. So Edgewood will match your $25. Edgewood.bet, promo code SGPN. We're also brought to you by MyBookie.ag. They have the book in every sport. They have every single option for the NBA playoffs, the NHL playoffs. You have the MLB card, tennis, etc. Dylan, you a Devils fan?
Yes, I am. They're down 3-2 right now.
But I'm assuming that you are following the Devils in their run. Okay, so the point is, if you want to be like Dylan, you want to actually have it, whether your team's in it or not, you can root for your team in hockey. If you're like me, where the Islanders and the Nets are terrible, you can still bet on it as a fan or just as an overall gambler. So once again, something to keep in mind. But a reminder, you can also use it for a ton of locations because MyBookie does accept a ton of customers, ton of locations. Use crypto, floating fast payouts, and use deposits. And a reminder, head to MyBookie.ag, promo code SGPN to get a 100% off the match up to 1K. Terms and conditions apply. MyBookie.ag, promo code SGPN. Welcome back, everyone, to the MLB Gambling Podcast. Finished going through the first couple games on the Monday card. Time to move on to the next game. You have the Cardinals taking on the Reds. Cardinals were good against the Brewers, won 2 out of 3, did lose the game on Sunday. Reds are currently dominating against the Rockies as they are up, I think it's 7-0 in the 8th inning. But for the actual game here, you have Palante against Martinez. Reds are -125, Cardinals are +105, and the over-under in this game is set at about 9. Now, for the actual form, both teams, we saw the Reds look good against the Rockies. Then again, it's the Rockies. Who cares? St. Louis looked good over the weekend, but their home road splits are very alarming as they are 2-11 on the road, and the Reds are 6-6 at home. But I think Palante is better than Martinez, so I think you can argue that the wrong team might be favored here. But once again, the Cardinals are 2-11 on the road. I think I'll go Cardinals first 5 money line. I'll fade Martinez, I'll back Palante, but I don't trust this team on the road at all. So I'm kind of stuck, but give me the Cardinals to start fast in this game.
Yeah, this is not a game I'm really racing to the window to bet. I know Nick Martinez hasn't been good by any means, but my numbers didn't make the Reds a -130 favorite here at home. I don't like to back the Cardinals. You mentioned it on the road, 2-11 straight up. They're averaging a full run and a half less per game on the road than at home. And shockingly, the Reds offense has looked good as of late, averaging 5 runs per game in their last 5. And against righties, they are hitting 260 as well. So going against Pala, who he just gave up 4 runs in back-to-back starts, think we'll see some runs here in Great American Ballpark. It is a hitter-friendly ballpark as well. I'm going to stay away from the side. I know it's a short number. I think the books are begging you to take the Reds. I'm not going to do that. I do like the over 8.5. Shop around. It's a little chalky, but I do see some 9s out there. but I'll take the over. I think we'll see some runs from both sides.
Yeah, I agree with you about the over. But I do think that for the money, I think there's not much separating these teams right now. The Reds have been playing better, but once again, Colorado's Colorado. So I
Yeah.
think Palante's better, but I don't mind an over as well for that game. Moving on to the A's against the Rangers. Now, for this game, you have Sears against Corbin. Corbin's been randomly really good. He's 2-0, 3.77 ERA. Sears 3-2, 3.21 ERA. A's, though, good on the road, 8-5, but the Rangers are 10-3 at home. Minus 110 on both sides for this game. Over-under is set at about, trying to find the line here. I see 9.5 or 9. So once again, the Rangers and the A's have actually been good in this environment. A's are good on the road, and the Rangers are good at home. Rangers, though, are playing, I believe, right now against the Giants, and they are currently tied 2-2 in the fifth. So we'll see how that game goes. The A's are also tied 1-1 in the sixth inning. So I'll ask you, because Corbin's actually been pretty good, Sears has been fine, and the Rangers have been winning games, but not the greatest offensively. That's why they've been kind of underwhelming in this Giants series. Then again, the A's played the White Sox, so tough to really evaluate. But I'll ask you, I think I'll go Rangers here because I think they're the better team on paper, and I like them more at home. But Corbin has randomly been decent, and that's good enough for me. So I think it's a coin flip. I agree with the line, but I'll go with Texas.
I think this might be the first time since being on the show for 3 years that I ever backed Patrick Corbin.
He's been good.
He has minus 110. I think at home is a very fair price. My numbers made him a minus 135 favorite. Ranger have been solid, like you mentioned, 10-3 straight up, and Patrick Corbin, he's looked good. He already has a win over this A's team in his last start, and that was on the road. Now coming back home, he's performed better. I think he'll be fine, like you mentioned, and they're backed up by a top 10 bullpen as well. I understand the offense has been kind of lackluster, but they have good pitching, and Patrick Corbin, I think, is going to keep them in this game. I think the Rangers are the right side. I can't believe it, but I am going to back Corbin here at minus 110. I agree.
Yeah, times change. But Corbin got bit by a spider, and he became one of the just a solid pitcher. So, yeah, kind of the weird story going on with Patrick Corbin. But either way, point is he's
I'm
been
here
good.
for it.
I'll back him in the spot. I feel happy for him after
Yeah.
being a laughingstock for like the last 3 years. I miss fading him though. He made a lot of money, but good for him.
Yeah.
Moving on to the next game, you have the Tigers taking on the Astros. Tigers are kind of surging right now, but they've been a lot better at home than on the road. For the Tigers, though, you have Flaherty pitching against Blanco. Tigers minus 115. The Astros are minus 105. Tigers had a phenomenal series over the weekend against the Orioles, who got swept. For Houston, they were fine against Kansas City. Did win the last game of the series, but the point is, I do think Detroit's been in better form. Flaherty's been better than Blanco, though. Blanco 5.01 ERA, Flaherty 2.63 for the over-under in this game, though. I see the line being set at 8 flat. I think I'm just going to take Detroit. I think Flaherty's better than Blanco. I like how Detroit's played. Houston offensively has really not been that great. Jordan's been invisible the entire season. People are still waiting for him to do something. But I'll ask you because I think Detroit right now is, objectively speaking, the better team. So
Yeah, I would
like
agree.
Price. So I'll go with Detroit.
Yeah, I would agree. They are the better team. I'm going to take a total, though. I'm going to take the under 8 here. My total came out to 7.6. I don't want to back Flaherty on the road, who he struggled in his last 3 starts. I agree he's better, but he has struggled recently in those 3 starts. But all 3 of those games, surprisingly, did go under the total. In fact, both of these teams are under teams in general. Astros 9-1 towards the under in their last 10. They've gone under this number in 5 straight. Tigers 7-2-1 towards the under in their last 10. They've gone under this number in 4 of their last 5. And Blanco, he's been better at home. This is a kind of a spot you really want to back him. So I think we'll see a low-scoring game. Tigers only hitting 229 on the road this season. So I think we'll see another low-scoring game. I don't want anything to do with the side, but under 8 is going to be the play for me.
Yeah, I can get behind that too. Moving on to the next game, you have the Braves taking on the Rockies. We have no line in this game, and on top of that, we have no pitcher for Atlanta. Besides that, though, we're fine. You have Marquez pitching, who's 0-4 with a 9.3 ERA. He's been the only guy in the same ballpark as Charlie Morton this season. So he's been really, really bad. I don't have lines. I'm not backing Marquez, so it's going to be probably a blind over. Maybe Atlanta minus 1.5. But I got no lines. I don't know if you want to try, but I can't back Marquez.
Yeah, there's no lines, but I'm looking at MLB.com, and I think it was Marquez, and now I think they changed it to Ryan Faulkner.
Faulkner's pitching today.
Oh, okay.
Feltner?
Marquez.
Faulkner's pitching right now.
Feltner, yeah. regardless, I think a trend, what we want to keep doing with teams playing the Rockies, just bet their team total over. I mean, it's just been awful for them. I know the Braves offense hasn't been good. I think they finally got above 200 on the road finally, but just look at the recent games for the Colorado Rockies. 6, 8, 6, 7. I mean, we're just gonna see their team total go over. So you want to, if I think it should be around 4.5, 5, depending on what the total opens up. Obviously, it's going to be a little higher because they're in elevation at course, but I don't know. I like it. And I think, honestly, I think the total could open up really high because I think it could be Bryce Elder going for the Braves.
He's not good either. So that goes back
No,
to the over.
yeah, exactly. So let's just back the over here. I think we'll see some runs.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, I don't trust either pitching staff right now. Atlanta's been a mess on the road. Like really, really bad on the road. They're 4-11, but the Rockies are 3-8 at home, about to be 3-9 after the game today. They're about to be 4-23. So them and the White Sox are trying to outdo how bad the White Sox were last year. So
real quick, it's been a month now, maybe a couple days over a month. Are you still worried about the Braves or no?
It's so early. I mean, it depends on what your expectations are. I think the Braves can still be a wild card team.
Okay.
Am I picking them to be a World Series contender? No. Because besides 1 year where they lost Acuna, went on a miracle run and won the title, they've been playoff underachievers every year. And you know this as a Mets fan. I'm sure you enjoy every minute of it. So the point is, I don't take the Braves seriously beyond being a playoff team potentially. Am I going to call them dead? No, they're 12-14. They were really, really bad. They're only 2 under. Like, I'm not going to sell. I think that they're going to be a playoff team by the season's end. I could see them finishing somewhere in the high 80s if they keep playing like they are right now. Am I picking them to be a serious contender to do anything in October? No.
They got to buy, though, right at the deadline?
They always buy.
Yeah.
I mean, when you sign your young core to like 7-8 year deals, you're priced in to be competitive, or at least to try to be competitive every year. So the question is, can Sale regain form? He was better last outing against Arizona. Didn't go much distance, but he still was better. But you're looking at the rotation, which has been up and down. Like Schwellenbach's been fine. Holmes has been fine for the most part. But I feel you're looking at this team. The bullpen has not been that great. The lineup's been underachieving, but it's been kind of waking up a little bit more lately. I think that they're once again good enough to be a high 80-win wild card team. I'm not telling you they're going to win the division. I'm not picking them to win the pennant, but I think they could be a playoff team. I mean, they're only 2 under. As bad as things were earlier this season, they have been better over the last 2 weeks. So I'm not going to pull the plug. No. 12-14 sounds fantastic when they started, what, like 0-7?
I think they were like 1-9 at one point.
I'm saying, like, it was really bad, so they've been on a good run lately, but I still recognize this team having flaws.
Yeah,
so I would agree. Okay. So I wasn't sure if you brought it up because you are still low on this team.
I just wanted, because we had a conversation a few weeks ago when it was around 1-9, 1-10, maybe 2-10. And you asked me the question, are you still worried? I was like, no, I think they'll be fine. Now, I agree. I don't really think they're a World Series contender, but I think they'll make the wild card. I still think they'll win 80 games, 85 games. I think they have talent. I think there are some really bad issues, especially with the pitching. I don't think the pitching is good. They leave a lot of base runners on base, and they struggle on the road. And in the playoffs, that's, unless you're the number 1 seed, you're gonna have to go on the road in the playoffs. And I just really don't buy them as real contenders. And I agree. I think they're gonna have to buy, but what if they continue and they still struggle towards the All-Star break mid-July and they're 7 games under 500? Are they still buyers then?
I guess my question for you, though, would be, if you're going to sell, who are you selling? Because you have a bunch of your main young core signed up for a long time. You're probably going to trade Sale if you were going to. But you don't know about his injury history and how he's been performing this year. So that could be a bit of a watered-down market for the defending Cy Young winner than you probably expected going into the season. But how many expendable old players do they actually have? It feels like a lot of their guys are tied up long-term.
Yeah, I have no idea. I'm trying to look at their roster.
And you're not going to trade like Riley. You're probably not going to trade Albies. You're not going to trade Acuna.
What about Matt Olson?
I mean, Olson you can make an argument for, but I mean, he's kind of been underwhelming since having 50-plus home runs a couple of years ago. You get my point, though.
Yeah.
Like, how many realistic sell pieces do the Braves actually have?
Not a lot.
Not as many as you probably thought. So I don't see them being sellers.
Yeah, good point. Good point. I
But
just wanted to bring it up.
I mean, there is one thing going to their benefit. Two things, actually. One is the Phillies not playing well, which might be
Yeah.
another wild card team that they'd be competing with, because the Mets, knock on wood right now, should be the pretty decent favorite to win the division at this point. So the Phillies have been underachieving. That's one team they could catch pretty easily. Then you have all the NOS teams, besides the Rockies, who are going to cannibalize themselves, because you have so many quality teams there that play each other double-digit times a year. They're going to kill each other. So you're probably looking at them, once again, taking wins away from each other, and that opens the door for the Braves. So I think the Braves got a path to a wild card spot. I wasn't panicking early. I think they'll be fine, but I don't think this team is elite. I think they're fine.
How
That's
many
kinda where I'm at.
how many teams do you think the NL West, because they're so good right now? It looks like San Francisco's in first place by a half a game against the Padres and Dodgers, and we all like the Diamondbacks coming into this series, and they're not too far back. They're 3 games out. They're 14-13. They're pretty good at home. I think they'll turn it around as well. I know they've lost 4 in a row, but I think Arizona will be just fine as well. And obviously, out of anyone, I think just one team of the Central is going to make it.
Yeah, I don't think anybody else in the Central is going to make it. Maybe the Brewers you make an argument for, but the Cubs really should win that division. And at that point, there's a drop-off. So when you're talking about the 3 wild card spots and the division winner, I don't think we're taking 4 NOS teams, right?
That'd be crazy. No, I don't.
So
I
based
wouldn't
on
like
that, there's a path for the Phillies or the Braves.
Yeah.
So that's kind of how I'm looking at it. But
I love it. I just wanted to get your thoughts on that real quick.
yeah, I think the Braves once again have a path there. I'm sure most people are picking the Giants or the Diamondbacks to fall off. They'll probably pick the Padres and the Dodgers to make it out of that division. Maybe one more. Maybe the Diamondbacks or the Giants get in 2, but I don't see 4.
Didn't they have 3 teams get in last year, right?
Yeah, but I'm saying 4 I
Yeah.
just don't see being.
No, that would be crazy. If 4 teams got in the division, I think we'd have a problem.
They get 4th. I thought they got 2 last year.
We know the Dodgers got in because they won.
The Padres got in because
The
they lost to the
Padres.
Dodgers first round. I don't remember Arizona getting in.
Arizona did not get. I think it was the year prior to that.
Year
when
prior,
Arizona,
I believe. Yeah.
All right. Cool.
So once again, I think the Giants or the Diamondbacks will fall off. So I think there are some spots for the Braves to play with potentially.
I love it.
So
all right,
something
thanks.
to keep in mind. Moving on though to the last game, going to go with the Marlins against the Dodgers. For this game, you have Cabrera, who might be the new Syndergaard, by the way. Cannot hold the runner to save his life. People are stealing on him left and right. It's crazy. He might be the new Syndergaard. But he's against Dustin May, who was really good before the last start because May was horrible. Got absolutely torched in his last outing. Ended up going 5 innings against the Cubs. 10 hits, 7 earned runs, walked 3 guys. It was very, very ugly very quickly. Now, the Marlins are on the verge of getting swept, I believe, by the Mariners. They're down 5-2 right now. Never mind. They won the first game, actually. So they're on the verge of losing this series to Seattle. Then they're going to be playing against the Dodgers, who are currently up 6-2 in the 5th inning against the Pirates. For the lines, though, I see 8.5 for the total, and for the run line and for the money line, I see Dodgers minus 300, and I see the run line at minus 140. If you want 2.5, I see plus 114. I think Miami gets destroyed because Cabrera, I think, has been a pitcher with good stuff. But if you can't hold runners and you walk a lot of guys, you have serious problems. Like, you might see Ohtani steal a couple bases in this game. Betts maybe might steal a base or 2. It's a problem. And you're looking at the Marlins offensively, who've been finding ways to manufacture runs, but you look at the lineup, and it's extremely weak on paper. It's a really bad matchup. And getting killed by the Mariners back-to-back games is not going to instill much confidence in me for this team. I'll go Dodgers minus 2.5 at plus 114. I think they smack this team.
I put minus 1.5 before we had lines, and I'm glad you put minus 2.5 at plus money because that's exactly where I'll go to. Edward Cabrera has just been awful for the Fish. He gives up the long ball as well. He lets everyone steal.
He walks a ton of guys.
He walks
too.
2+ walks up in every start. So maybe look towards a walk prop as well. And this is his first start on the road, and he gets the Dodgers, who they just put up 8 runs last night. They put up 6-7 runs against the Pirates today. Not the best spot, and the Fish struggle on the road in general. And I know Dustin May, different pitcher on the road, but at home, he has been really good. Just 1 run given up in 11 innings. And the Dodgers won both of those starts by 2 or more runs. So, yeah, I'll take the plus money as well. Dodgers minus 2.5 at plus 114, you said, right?
Yeah, plus 114 and the minus 2.5.
Yeah, I like that.
Yep. Before we get into the lock and dog plays, that was the last game, by the way, for the actual card. Once again, a small slate for Monday. A reminder, though, that we are brought to you by our sponsor, Underdog Fantasy. You can play there under Pick'em for chance 100 times your money. You can also mix some extra sports. You can use the NBA playoffs. You can do the NHL. You can do baseball, tennis, esports, etc. Point is, when you do end up making your entry, don't forget to sign up when you make your new account for your once again, nice promo code SGPN to claim a special pick and never time with an offer up to 1K bonus cash. Fantasy promo code MLB SGPN. We're also brought by Rhythm because they're the home of the Monday Picks and props. Are also available for the NBA playoffs and the MLB prop market, so you can dominate those two areas with Rhythm. You can also build your model, which is very easy to do. Rhythm also knows that you'll love it, and they're giving you a free 7-day trial. So if you want to try it out for a week, then you can do it for free. But a reminder, they have some amazing deals as well when you do end up deciding to join Rhythm full-time. You can use the promo code SGPN25 for 20% off the monthly deal, and for the annual deal, 50% off with the promo code SGPN50. Once again, the Rhythm, RATHMM, promo code SGPN25 or SGPN50. Welcome back, everyone, to the MLB Podcast. Finished going through every game on the Monday card. Now it's time for the lock and dog picks. Dylan, I'll let you go first. What are your lock and dog plays for the Monday card?
Yeah, so my dog, I'm going to take the Dodgers -2.5 at +114. Edward Cabrera he's just bad. He's a complete fade. And again, his first road start of the year against a Dodger team who bats seem to have been picked up last few games. I think they get killed here on the road. So yeah, Dodgers -2.5 at +114. As my lock, every time I take the Mets on the show as my lock, they wind up losing.
Okay.
So I do not want to do that. I'll take the Guardians here. I'm going to fade the Twins, who they've just been playing cans. That's why they've been winning. Angels and White Sox are two bad teams. So I think we're going to start seeing regression from this Twins team. And Gavin Williams has been good at home, 2-0 at a 2.38 ERA. So I think they're a better team. They have the better bullpen. -122, I think, is a very fair price for the Guardians, who are a bet on team at home for me. So yeah, -122. I'll take the Guardians as my favorite. My favorite.
Yeah. So for my lock, I think I am going to go with Detroit. Give me the Tigers at -110. I like how they're playing. Houston offensively still been pretty underwhelming. We saw Detroit go into that building and win both playoff games last year. So they're not going to be intimidated by the environment. Houston has not been that great at home anyway. But Flaherty's better than Blanco. Blanco's a 5+ ERA. Detroit's quietly been really good. Mostly at home, I'll admit it, but I like how this team's played. So give me Detroit -110. I think they should be -125 if I had to price that myself. For the actual dog, though, I'm on the fence, and you know what? The Yankees have been pretty bad, but the Orioles have been worse. So give me the Yankees -1.5 at +128. Baltimore is just in free fall at the moment, and they got killed by Detroit in basically every game. You're looking at Sagano, who was not very good against the Nationals the last time out. He was okay. Warren, I thought, went pretty well, besides kind of falling apart there at the end of his last start. But the Yankees, I think, are the better team. I think Baltimore is on the verge of firing their manager at some point. Like, they are really bad. But I'll fade the team in free fall, getting +128. I think that's a pretty good option. I'll go with that as my dog. Anyway, Dylan, I'll ask you, because why not? Any home run picks you want to give out for the Monday card?
Not that guy, Tyler Soldenshin. How do you pronounce his last name?
Soderstrom?
Soderstrom. Yeah, I'll take him against Patrick Corbin as well.
Okay. For mine, I mean, I think Sagano might give up one, but I want to see his home runs allowed. Yeah, Sagano's given up 2+ home runs in 2 straight. He's given up at least 1 home run in 4 straight. So I think I'm going to go with the Yankee. Judge is so obvious, but he actually hasn't hit one in a while. But the price is going to be like below 3-1. And the question is if I want to actually bother with that. So that's kind of the tricky part. Okay, wait, let me see his splits with lefties and righties, actually. Home runs, he's given up a decent amount of home runs to lefties, actually. Okay, you know what? I'll go with somebody else. Give me Ben Rice for the Yankees. I'll go with him. He's been kind of in the leadoff spot on occasion, so I might get an extra at-bat there. But he's been solid. Rice, I do think, can swing a solid bat. And I do like the fact that Sagano's given up a ton of home runs. So I like how Rice has played. I think it's a good spot for him. Want to see his actual splits against righties this season quickly. Against righties this season, 327. So good enough for me. Give me Ben Rice as my home run pick for the Monday game. Anyway, that's going to wrap it up. Remember, back once again on Monday morning for the prop show with Adam and I. Going back once again, normal time on Monday for the Tuesday games. Until next time, good luck to all of you and all of your bets. Bye, everyone.